And I've got to come here. I've got to highlight my spotlight for everyone. Then let's see, don't have to do that. And I just have to start record here. We're good. But I need a new candle. One moment, please. Candle break. Well, hello everyone. Good to see you. Let me bring everyone up here. Today in Japan, it's still school summer vacation. So a lot of our people are traveling, and even our people here in Scuba. I see Chris down there. Hi, Chris. Down there, I see Yakshim, who's just down the street here. But we have a typhoon coming in about 2 hours. So very wisely, everyone should stay at home today. I'm very glad you could be here. I want to very much thank our team of Bion and Koshi with Sekishi's advice as well. We are running with a new modem system here, which I don't know what it means, but we're getting 95 somethings on a scale of 100, which is really good, I hear. And so I want to thank them for all their advice on getting that installed this week. You may notice I'm in Kesa today, even though it is really hot right now. Why? Well, there's a couple of reasons. There's never a wrong time for the Kesa, even though usually these weekly Zazenkai a little more informal and relaxed. We go with the Raksu, which means you're relaxed, you're relaxed Kesa. The other reason is this is my homework. As Onkai knows, she's one of the victims here. Our lesson this month for our priests is what I call the solo one-man band ceremony. This is an important skill when I've been traveling around or I'm something. This year, a neighbor's cat died, and I had to do an impromptu ceremony right there for all the neighbors, chanting, for the cat. And it was lovely. It was beautiful. But sometimes you have to one-man band it. So today I will be the Ino. And because our priests are learning the ceremony, it's okay to read it here, but we've only got two hands. So here I got this set up. This is what we're all doing. We got our bell, we got our mokagyo, I got the Heart Sutra here. It's also good for me to read. You notice my Heart Sutra is getting bigger as my eyes fail. Now, really, I could do this from memory, but there's a couple of things. Yesterday, I called my daughter by the cat's name. So I admit my memory is failing, all right? And second off, so sometimes, you know me, I just get everything flubbergubbered. And the other reason is our priests are also learning the ceremony, so they will be reading the script too. So got to keep this all straight here. We have our Heart Sutra, we have our bell, we have our mokagyo. All right, let's go. If you've been here before, you know what to do. And if it's your first time, just follow along. The heart of the perfection of great wisdom, Sutra. Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, awakened one of compassion, in Prajna Paramita, the deep practice of perfect wisdom, perceive the emptiness of all five conditions, and was freed of suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is precisely emptiness, emptiness precisely form. Sensations, perceptions, formations, and consciousness are also like this. O Shariputra, all things are expressions of emptiness, not born, not destroyed, not stained, not pure, neither waxing nor waning. Thus emptiness is not form, not sensation nor perception, not formation nor consciousness, no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, no sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, nor object of mind, no realm of sight, no realm of consciousness, no ignorance, no end to ignorance, no old age and death, no cessation of old age and death, no suffering, nor cause or end to suffering, no path, no wisdom, and no gain, no gain. Thus bodhisattvas live this prajna paramita with no hindrance of mind, no hindrance, therefore no fear, far beyond all delusion. Nirvana is already here. All past, present, and future Buddhas live this prajna paramita and realize supreme and complete enlightenment. Therefore know that prajna paramita is the sacred mantra, the luminous mantra, the supreme mantra, the incomparable mantra by which all suffering is clear. This is no other than truth. Therefore set forth the prajna paramita mantra. Set forth this mantra and proclaim Gate, Gate, Paragate, Parasamgate, Bodhisoaka, Anya Shingyo. Buddha nature pervades the whole universe, reality existing right here now. In reciting the heart of the perfection of Great Wisdom Sutra, we dedicate our sincere efforts to Shakyamuni Buddha, Honored One, the historical Buddha and teacher, and to those ancestral teachers, Eihei Dogen, Honored One, Soji Keizan, Honored One, all successive Honored Ones up until Zuegaku Renpo, Honored One, and Gudo Wafu, Honored One, and to all other Honored Ones throughout history, same yet diverse Honored Ones whose names have been forgotten or left unsaid. We also dedicate these efforts to the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, to all awakened ones and teachers in all places and times. We especially seek tranquility and well-being for all creatures now suffering or ill in health. May they be serene through all their ills. May their lives be at peace and wisdom pervade the darkness of ignorance. We dedicate our hopes and aspirations to all victims of war and violence and natural events, to the injured and to all families touched by these tragedies, to the healing of hatred in all countries and among all peoples, to the wisdom and compassion of our world leaders, to the peace of the world and harmony of all beings. Thus let the harmful effects of words, thoughts, and actions be dispelled, and compassion bloom in perpetual spring. May we all realize and live the enlightened way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time, all Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, Mahaprajna, Paramita. Zazen? Kinhin, please carefully rise for Kinhin. We will have Zazen and a little talk. Can you all hear me? If you can, jump around 3 times and do a cartwheel, please. Thank you. So I think most of you have heard me say in the past that Zazen and Buddhist practice will not fix everything. If you have a bad tooth, Zazen's not going to fix it. You need to see a dentist. If you have a flat tire, Zazen's not going to prevent a flat tire. You got to fix it. You got to change it. You have cancer, better see your oncologist, not a Zen master. Now, of course, Zazen will do many things. It may make us more at home much of the time with our throbbing tooth, make the process of changing a tire more of a spiritual ritual, or maybe even bring us some peace with our cancer, but it's not going to really cure the problems, the situations that life throws at us. And you've also heard me say, I think, most of you, that don't expect to be turned into some kind of Buddhist robot or saint from your practice. Remember, you're still human. Jinkan, our alternative paths Soshu for Ango, is in the cancer ward right now. He's had a big surgery. Didn't go so well. And he writes us words of wisdom, but he's also honest to say that sometimes he feels fear, sometimes peace, acceptance, sometimes fear. For Buddha's sake, he's in the cancer ward. Of course what do you expect? I tell him not to demand that he always be at peace with everything. But any of us too, we're just human. And sometimes I wish that the old sutta and sutra books would show that a little more. I'm sure the old guys, the old masters, had their things, their problems, their bad hair days. They didn't have hair, they shaved their head, but you know what I mean. So we should accept this too. But there's something more I'd like to mention today, and that's something called spiritual bypassing. And I realize that because I fell into that trap a bit too recently. Spiritual bypassing is something that has been talked about since the 60s. I was looking at the history of it, and it basically means that you could use meditation, zazen, or other practice to avoid or bury or repress, sublimate. Sublimate, is that the word? No, that's a good thing, sublimate. Repress some issues and push them down in the gut and not deal with them. Like the alcoholic who turns to the bottle to momentarily escape his pain and doesn't deal with something. And it can happen to anyone. Happened to me. This is to be human too. Now, in my case, what I think happened is I have a thing because my father, my family, when I was a little kid, went bankrupt. And my father lost everything, lost our bank accounts. Government came and hit him for some taxes, and we almost lost the house. It was really rough. And I remember I didn't understand it when I was a little kid, but it left some scars down there, apparently. So recently, with all that's going on in COVID, my little translation office has hit some bumps too. Business is a little slow. And I had to write a check for $13,000 for one semester of my son's college this week. Buddha never had to deal with that. He never had to pay tuition for his kid, but I did. And the combination of it, I think, brought up those old scars. And I didn't want to admit it. I was like, I'm scared. I'm scared. I don't want to go bankrupt. Bankruptcy, dukkha. I want to get my kid through school and not lose the house like that. So someone posted a thread a couple of weeks ago called "What's the difference between accepting things and repressing things?" It's a good thread. And I answered, and I gave, I think, a correct answer, not recognizing that I was talking about myself a little bit. And I said there are a couple of signs when you're doing this. One is, one of the things I noticed is I didn't want to really look at that thread. It was really bothering me because I think in the back of my mind I knew, hey, you're talking about yourself, dummy. But I realized I was. And the big thing is, I think when the fear, whatever you're avoiding or stepping around or not dealing with, starts to come out your ears. So I found myself getting short, angry stuff. I was not, it was coming out like a volcano a little bit, and that's the number one sign. I'm not a professional psychologist, don't get me wrong. This is just layman saying that when something like that shows that you don't react right in all situations, something's going on and you got to deal with it. So I'm dealing with that. I recognize, oh, it's that old fear set off this week from when you were a little kid. There it is. So the only reason I'm bringing this up is a couple of things. First off, I mistakenly attributed this to Trungpa Rinpoche. And he did not speak, I believe, about spiritual bypassing. He spoke about something else called spiritual materialism. I confused it for a second. Spiritual materialism is where you go kind of spiritual shopping, this self-help book, that self-help book, this guru, that guru, just trying to get some kind of yoga class that makes me feel better in my life rather than really dealing, with a serious path of practice like that. That's spiritual materialism. That's a little different. Spiritual bypassing is where you use our zazen or something not to deal with something you need to deal with. And all of us need to sometimes look at ourselves and say, are we dealing that? And maybe it's not for the Zen master. You need the dentist for the bad tooth. Well, maybe you need to talk to someone sometimes. Maybe a friend, maybe someone professional. It's okay. It's not going to cure your alcoholism. You got to go to the AA maybe, like that. It's not going to cure your kleptomania maybe. You got to talk to a professional, mental health professional. You got to deal with it. So if you have something like that, be aware of yourself. Do not expect yourself, let me repeat, do not expect yourself to be a spiritual saint, in which if you do have some issue that comes up, you go, oh, I'm a Zen failure, I'm a Buddhist failure, this practice is not working. No, the practice is never, we're human beings, the practice is never 100%. I don't care the image in the old days that we think all the old masters, they were perfect beings. They had stuff too. They had, well, I don't know the Sanskrit word for it, but they had their stuff, their baggage too, I'm sure. Dogen had his stuff. Everybody has something. So recognize it. Don't expect to be a Buddhist saint or machine. Number two, don't expect Zazen to cure everything. Still things in this world that are scary. Jinkan's in the cancer ward. He can get scared. I can get scared because when I was a little kid, something happened. You can get scared because you're afraid of spiders. Okay, whatever it is, it's okay. You're not a robot. And number three, recognize, be honest with yourself. Don't use this practice to bury things. Okay? That's just the lesson for today. Let's sit. Well, sorry, there was a bit of a misring. We will now have the verse of atonement and the 4 vows. Not Kinhin. I forgot, I'm the Eno. Wait a second. Oh, I'm the Eno. Everybody rise for ceremony, please. All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind, now I atone for them all. To save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable. Well, very good. You know, to do these ceremonies like this, it's a lot like playing the violin. You could play for years, you don't pick it up for a few months, and you get a little rusty. So this is for my students. I also say there's no perfection, but we make an effort. So I'll be doing it a couple of more times. I had some rough edges there. I got to smooth that out, and I'm going to be working on that. And, you know, no perfection, but make a sincere effort. That's the way of Zen practice. All right, everyone, we're going to have a little tea or coffee if you want to stick around. If not, bon voyage. Those folks in Japan, watch the typhoon, and see you all later. Love you guys.